Welcome to episode 102 of Sport SA Daily Diary. Today we're chatting to South African under-17 women's football captain, Jessica Wade. Good afternoon, Jess. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thanks, and you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Thank you for joining us today on Sport SA Daily Diary. It's lovely to chat to you.
Thank you for having me.
So, Jess, you are a football player.
Yeah.
Take us back to the early days of chess. Have you always been interested in football?
So my passion for football started when I was about 6 years old, and I joined a boys' club when I was 7 here in Alberton. And then I joined JVW, which is all girls football club, and then it just kind of grew from there. And now I'm playing for the under-17 and under-20 national team.
And when you first started and you're playing with the boys, were you holding your own?
I'd like to think so. I always had really supportive teammates that were there to have my back, but, I think I put up a fair fight.
And what made you get into football, Jess?
I had a best friend, and his dad was a coach at a football club, and he offered for me to come and join, and it was just so much fun, and yeah.
And growing up obviously you're still at school, you're at Waterside College, but growing up through primary school and high school, do you participate in any other sports, or is it football is all is it for you?
Oh no, I love all sports, so I always participate in whatever came around in that term. Athletics, cross country, I love to play tennis as well. Just whatever came around, really. It was always lots of fun to play sports at school. I'm no longer at Waterstone College, though. I now take online classes from a GED program in the US.
Okay. Is that because of the amount of travel you need to do?
Yeah, it's because of COVID, and we're trying to accelerate my schooling at the moment, so I can hopefully go overseas next year. And then yes, it obviously helps when I travel a lot. I won't have to stress as much about catching up work.
Yeah. And tell us, Jess, you in 2015 you joined JVW, the football club, the all girls. Was it very different to what you'd been used to playing with the boys?
Yeah, it was a lot different. It was a really nice different though. Before I could never use the same change room that the boys could, and now we could all use the same change room. It was a nice environment to be in, girls that had similar interests to you and all trying to achieve the same thing. So it was a really nice change for me, and it's something I've loved.
And do you feel you shone fairly early on because your progression has been very, very quick?
I think that when I joined JVW, I learned a lot of things. I had really good role models around me, like Janine van Beek. We had a Sassel team to look up to, so I always tried to work hard, and I continue to work hard, and I think that's what's helped me to achieve what I have so far. And then I joined the Supersport United Soccer Schools program, and they were absolutely phenomenal. Their training is incredible. It works so much on your technical ability, and I think that's really where I improved so much, is from what they taught me.
And Jess, you're a midfielder. Are you a typical box-to-box midfielder, or are you more of a sort of creative playmaker midfielder?
I definitely prefer to play the number 10 role, but I think I could play a box-to-box midfielder. But yeah, no, I like to be creative in the final third.
And in 2017, you went to the SA trials for the first time. Was that a big step up from what you'd been used to with JVW?
I think it was a new experience, getting to play among so many other girls. It was a really nice level to be exposed to, because obviously it is a step up from club level and what we're used to, because we've never really got to play girls our age that are so competitive. We always played in an older women's league, which wasn't as difficult. And I think it was really nice when I went to trials for the first time and I saw that there were other girls also trying to achieve something that I wanted to. So yeah, it was fantastic.
And you got a really nice taste of international experience when you went out to Uruguay for the Under-17 FIFA Women's World Cup. Tell us a bit about that. I mean, that must have been quite a moment to firstly be selected for the team and then go to your first World Cup.
Yeah, no, it was absolutely incredible. And at 15 years old, I never thought that that would be something that I could achieve. And it was such an amazing experience. And I felt so proud to represent my country. And it was it was just incredible. Standing in that tunnel, then singing the national anthem. Oh, I loved every moment.
And you're up against some pretty phenomenal opponents in Mexico, Japan, and Brazil. The Japanese, incredibly strong in terms of women's football. Not your traditional Brazil, Argentina's, Germany from a men's perspective, but it's more Japan, US, and those sorts of countries.
Yeah, I think Japan, they're very technically disciplined and they're really good in with their tactical ability as well. I think, there's a big difference between them and us because they start their development so much earlier. Our youngest national teams are under 17, and some of those girls have been playing together since they were 12 years old. So I think it's really difficult for us to kind of compete with those girls who have been together for so long and know each other so well, whereas, we had 1 year and not even a full year because you don't spend that entire year in camp to kind of compete with them. But yeah, it was an incredible experience and we learned a lot.
And Jess, other than Janine van Wyk, have you had a sort of role model that you look up to and kind of style your game on, or is it I'm Jessica Wade and I'm unique?
My coach Shorty, actually asked me this question when I first got into the national team. And she said to me, well, what midfielder do you want to be? And I said, I don't want to be like anyone. I want to be the first person. I want to be the person that you compare somebody else to. But in South Africa, I love to watch Mamela Makabane, the Banyana midfielder. She's fantastic. And then overseas, I love watching Rose Lavelle from the US women's team. Yeah.
And your coach obviously saw something in you from the very early on. You were made captain of the under-17. And you guys went out to the COSAFA Cup and you had some incredible results, huh?
Yeah, we took a new team to COSAFA and I think we did really, really well under the circumstances. We only had a 1.5 week training camp leading up to that competition, and to pull off a second place I think was really impressive. And the team fought really hard, showed good passion like they did against Zambia when we came back from that 2-0 deficit. So yeah, I was really proud of them.
You're incredibly modest there. I mean, one of your results was a 28-0 victory over Seychelles, which is the biggest winning margin by any SA team, biggest winning margin by any African team. I mean, that was cheapers. How was that for a game? And you scored 6.
No, I only scored 3.
Okay.
No, Oyisa scored 6 and Tiffany also scored 6.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't think that games like that are really that fantastic to show off our skill. It kind of just shows that, maybe football's a little bit behind in that country. So I don't really like to speak about it, but it's a good result for us. It was a nice confidence booster, starting game in the tournaments, and I really think it helped us to gain confidence and grow in each game that we played.
And as you say, you guys were runners-up to Uganda. You lost 2-1 in the final. But you personally were voted player of the tournament. How did that make you feel?
Well, that was amazing. My teammates played really well throughout the tournament and they helped me to better my game. So I'm so grateful for how they played because they enabled me to play better. So
yeah. And Jess, you were picked for the under-20s team to play against Zambia, and a game that the team won. Did you manage to get on during that game?
Yeah, when we played Zambia away, I played only the last 10 minutes of the match. But then by the time we got to play Zambia at home, I secured a starting lineup position and then I played those 90 minutes.
So that's a fantastic progression from starting with the national team at 2017 to playing in an age group above what you normally play within 3 years.
Thank you.
And Jess, you say that you're looking at going overseas next year. What is the plan for Jess?
It's obviously quite difficult to say anything now because of COVID and the way things are going. The original plan was to hopefully get some trials in Europe, as we've been speaking to a couple of clubs. If that didn't work out though, then I want to go and study in the US and play Division 1 football.
You certainly can't go wrong with moving to the US. Their level of women's football is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Jess, do you have a dream club that you would like to play for?
Oh, definitely Manchester United, hands down.
That's fantastic. Great to hear as a fellow United fan. It has been a bit strange, though, with Man United, is they haven't had a women's team until this past year. Well, I mean, they had one many years ago, but then it fell away. What do you think the women's team can offer a club like Manchester United?
It's another side to marketing if you wanted to look at it like that, because women's football is the fastest growing sport in the world. But I think it's just important to show that, that the women can be just as good as the men. And it's nice that such a big club is ready and prepared to have a women's team. It shows that they support it, and I think it just helps to grow the women's game.
And Jess, I mean, your coach sings your praises. Janine van Wyk sings your praises. What do you feel is your strongest point in your game?
I would like to say that I'm very passionate when I play. Like, I don't like to lose. That's something that I definitely don't put up with. And I work hard. Yeah.
And you're obviously a leader of the team and a people's person. How important is the development of the women's game in South Africa? And how important are role models like yourself to younger up-and-coming girls who also think they may have a future in the sport?
Development is such an important thing to focus on, because it's the young players that are going to come through and make your national teams that are going to get you the results that you want. And it's incredible that people like Janine van Wyk started up her own club where they take young girls, even from the ages of 8 and 9, and they nurture them and they teach them and they grow them. And it's so important to grow players at what you'd call the grassroots levels, so that they know what to expect when they hit national team levels. Like at JVW, we have Mamelo, we have Mpumi, we have Amanda. We have all these players that are helping and nurturing these girls and growing them and showing them what it can be like if they work hard in this field.
And Jess, tell us a bit about who Jess is away from the football field. Obviously, there can't be too much time with schoolwork and football. But other than football and schoolwork, what keeps Jess busy?
Mostly just football. I don't really have a life apart from football. Even in my free time, I love to just play with the ball and do some skills or whatever. I also play the piano. I enjoy the musical side of things. And that's about it. I don't have a very eventful life. It's just football.
And you talk about music. We've chatted to a couple of sportsmen who also have an interest in music. Do you feel music helps you in terms of your sport and like with rhythm and those elements of your game?
Oh, definitely. So I play the piano, and it's so good for your coordination, and I think it just develops you, because you can start playing musical instruments at a young age like you do with sport. And I think if you pair them together, it can really benefit you and help you to improve a lot.
Yeah. Well, Jess, it's been lovely chatting to you today on Sport SA Daily Diary. Thank you for your time. We look forward to seeing you in a Man United shirt and playing at Old Trafford one day.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you so much for having me. I really hope that too.
Awesome. Thanks, Jess. Cheers.
Catch us again tomorrow on Sport SA Daily Diary, where we'll be chatting to a young woman who's breaking into the South African squash team.